residency, I remember getting like as an intern my first set of evaluations, and they were amazing. But then one person said, and they're anonymous too, which I don't think they should be anonymous, because I'm like, you're an attending. Like, if you're going to give me feedback, say it with your chest and put your name on it.
Yes, I totally agree.
They said Uché isn't as great as she thinks she is.
That is, but see, that's the kind of classic.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, what do I do with that?
Yeah.
Disruptors. Defy the odds. Using superpowers to overcome all obstacles. My value second to none. Disruptors.
All right, welcome everybody. I like to do very amazing introductions, but I'm not good at them, so I just kind of get to it. Today we have Dr. Blackstock, and I went with Doctor first because I respect her so much. She's so amazing. And before we start, I have a little confession because I got to explain how we met. So Jordan, the way we met is I kind of stalked her on LinkedIn because she's going crazy. She's got this pandemic, this post-pandemic. She's everywhere. And I'm like, Uché. hey, can we, because, I just respect what you do and the fact that you got up in spaces and really spoke from the heart. So welcome, Uché Blackstock.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me, Moo.
Yeah. So I don't want to go all the way back to the beginning, but the first time I saw you speak in person was at NMA. And it was a fireside chat. Was it? Yeah, it was NMA.
Was it NMA? Or was it Nazi? It was Nazi.
Yeah. And it was a fireside chat. And you said something that I think really struck me, that I think a lot of times when you talk about being a physician, being a Black physician, being a Black woman physician, like we're going to go there. I want to talk about all of that.
Yeah.
But you really come at it from a place of strength, not a place of weakness, right? It's a place of, I belong. Now, people treated you differently,
right,
but I love the strength and confidence and that you brought to that conversation. But I want you to tell me when you weren't strong, like, because you're strong now. Were you always this strong, amazing woman bringing energy and bringing, inspiration to the rest of us? Or, did this come out of some tough times?
Right.
Yeah.
No, I would say it came out of tough times.
Yeah.
I feel like I always had it in me. And I think I was in environments that boxed me in and limited me. And, I had this kind of come to Jesus moment when I was in academic medicine. I was doing DI work, and I was like, listen, you are a brilliant woman and you're not able to do the work that you want to do authentically. Like, you're under a microscope. And you should take this show on the road. And so I, made this decision to leave my academic job. I had like 3 or 4 titles. I had a great salary. People looked at me like I probably had the perfect life, but I actually was quite miserable. I wasn't fulfilled. And so I made this decision to leave my academic job as an associate professor. And I said, I'm going to work on my consulting firm, Advancing Health Equity. I'll work part-time in urgent care to pay the bills. And that was December of 2019.
Wow. Wow, that's right. That's right. Yeah. COVID is already hitting at that point in certain places. But
I didn't know. I was like, oh, I'm just going to streamline my life. Like, a few days I'll work on the business. A few days I'll work in urgent care. Right. And I was working in urgent care near where I lived in my old neighborhood in Brooklyn. And things were going January, February. I was like, this is great. I'm walking to work. Urgent care is so much easier than the ED.
Right.
This is great. Right. And then March hits and we're the epicenter of the pandemic. And I literally see at my urgent care, like the browning of my patients. Like I see essential workers coming in, like, Black and brown people. And it was really diverse. Like I saw, because it's gentrified Brooklyn. So I would see people who could work from home. I didn't see them. And said, I was like, I got to write about this. So I wrote my first op-ed about what I thought was going to be racial inequities in the pandemic by the end of March. And it was published.
Well, yeah. You hit it right in stream.
Even before any of the data came out, because I was like, I need to use my voice in this moment.
Yeah. So I was driving to work today, Well, I don't really drive to work because I have a Tesla, and I like to use the
Is that much
autopilot.
on my nose?
No, you're
Okay,
good. Yeah,
okay,
you're good.
okay.
You're good. I would let you know. And I thought to myself, so I know that you know, very successful author, and I think, you know, again, at the end of the day, for me, from a fan's perspective, you're telling your story, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think how well you write is not as important as the story you're trying to tell.
Yes.
And I'm thinking to myself, as Mr. Tesla is driving me to work, that I think in my world, that experience is, I would love to write. I'd love to I always tell people I'm not a CEO who writes. Like, if you read what I write, it has nothing to do with healthcare. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
I want to be a writer who happens to be a CEO.
Right.
And I think that it's very empowering to do what you did, which I think everybody out there is probably thinking, like, I'm in this job. It pays the bills. Not even pays the bills. It exceeds my bills.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
It does.
I got a title, but there's something that I want to do. That is why I was put here on this earth.
Yes.
And to have the guts and the emotional fortitude to say, you know what? I'm going to jump in.
But can I say that that decision was, well, actually, it was like a lot of little decisions that then came into a big decision, a lot of small moments that added up. But I was scared. I always say that, like, just because you're brave doesn't mean that you're not scared.
You got to say that again.
Just because you're brave doesn't mean that you're not scared. Like, I was like, girl, what are you doing? But part of me was like, but you're that chick. Like, you'll be able to do this. I had done so much, even in academic medicine, on my own without much mentoring, like just what I'd done for myself. And I was just like, just like take this, like, bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. And I realized that if you bet on yourself, you can never go wrong. Yeah,
I think that's a true statement, but you don't know that.
You don't
know that.
So you have to take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
And that leap of faith is scary.
Yeah. Now, so you one of the things that there's two major things that I like to talk about. One is all those people who mentored you, or is there somebody that you can look at, one or two people where you could say, without this person, I'm never going this direction? Do you have that?
Yeah, no, I have a few people.
Okay.
It's interesting. I have a few people, but okay, I have a few people. One is a woman that I wrote about really briefly in the book.
Yeah.
Actually a white woman. She was more senior than me in a different department, internal medicine. And I kind of saw, like, what she was going through.
Yeah.
Like, she was, a little bit ahead of me, and saw, like, this really brilliant woman that was being very, like, restricted by the powers that be, like, wasn't taking on certain roles, wasn't getting advancement.
Right.
But she and I would meet, right? And kind of, like, she would share, like, lessons learned with me. And I don't know why, like, she just wanted to support me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think there's people like that. I mean,
yes.
I can think throughout my life that are just like, why did you do that? Why did you support me through that when you really didn't need to?
Right. And I feel like maybe she saw something in me, like, or I don't know, maybe she was just being, like, a nice person. But, like, I feel like she saw something in me that I probably didn't notice yet.
Yes.
Or recognize yet.
Yeah.
And, like, I ran into her last year at AAMC, and I said, you're one of the reasons why I'm where I am right now. And she's like, Uché, I cannot even believe that. I'm like, you are one of the reasons, because I think when you have people who, like, believe in you when you are having self-doubts, that means so much. And since I left academic medicine, I've had the people who are on my team, like my talent agent, my book agent, like my PR person, like, these are people who, like, they believe in me.
They believed, yeah.
And like, my talent agent saw me on air the first time I was on air.
Wow.
And when I look at that video, I'm like, I was a bumbling fool. What was I wearing? I had no makeup on. Yeah. And she messaged me, like, right after that first appearance and said, Dr. Blackstock, can we talk? I would love to represent you.
That's awesome.
And she said, because I saw your passion.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I talk about in Less Than 1%, I talk about Bob McKillop, who's Steph Curry's coach. And Steph Curry's untouchable now, right? I mean, we kind of knew him. My daughter went to camps, and Athena was MVP in his camp. way before he blew up. But you look at Coach McKillop, who was his coach at Davidson,
Mm-hmm.
allowed him to take shots that nobody else got to take. Now he perfected it.
Yeah.
No doubt he's
Right.
performing. But if he is a coach that says, no, you're not taking those shots, we have a whole different story.
Yes.
And so I think that there are these people, in our lives that, support us in ways where we don't, we get to take shots that we shouldn't take.
Yeah.
And then we have outcomes that we, in our minds, maybe we shouldn't have.
Yeah. And I have to also give big ups to my therapist who I've been seeing for the last 6 years through my divorce, through my career transitions, who literally this woman has helped me process everything. And it's just when my book came out, she sent me flowers and this card that said, "I knew you were always a star."
I've never seen you and I know some of it is staged. I mean, so to speak, right? You're on stage, you're on TV. You're not going to go on TV and, you're transparent, but you're not going to say a bunch of the stuff that is really hurting you.
Yeah.
But I've never seen, I've seen you in different situations. You're not an unhappy person. You're always big smile, radiating, bringing people to you. Are there dark times?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think, one thing, and we were talking about, before this, but, I think my mother's death when I was 19, that is I may tear up a little bit, but losing her has been is a life-defining moment for me. Felt like the rug was pulled from underneath me. To have the person who just was my biggest cheerleader, literally my biggest cheerleader, and my mom, just what she went through in her life, born into poverty, raised on public assistance, first person in her family to go to college.
Yeah.
Then she had a professor at Brooklyn College, Black man, who saw her potential and said, "You should apply to medical school."
Wow.
And she did, got into Harvard Med. Then after Harvard Med, could have gone anywhere, but came back to New York City and I'm trained at Harlem Hospital and then practiced in the same neighborhood in Brooklyn that she grew up in.
Amazing.
So I just this woman is just, and it's just, that's the thing. I feel like when people meet me, they meet her, people who knew my mom, she just radiated love.
Yeah.
She radiated love. She radiated community. So I feel like part of my job, and that's why the book is called Legacy, it's continuing her legacy. That's
awesome. That's awesome. And I think that what I love about the story, what you write about and what you've lived, your experience is that I always tell my kids, so I have to go back. So my kids, they're 3 and 5, maybe 4 and 6. Whenever you start school, and they both go to this, this charter school in the little lake neighborhood that we're at. And so it's Black History Month. And they're so they come home with these assignments and they're this, slavery, that. And I'm no.
Yeah.
I said, this is, so they're where are we from? I said, you're from Kings and Queens.
Yes.
You're from Kings and Queens. So I think that your story, truthfully, I mean, if you look at our histories and you look at what our heritage, our families, our grandparents, they actually been through, that this is not a story of downtrodden, what is that movie? The one where the kid is the football guy, the big football kid, and he goes to this family and they take care of him.
With Sandra Bullock?
Blindside?
Yeah, Blindside.
Blindside?
Yeah, the Blindside.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I hate that movie. It's just not.
I know. And then something came out recently that I think something.
Yeah, there's some kind of
it's just. Yeah, I know, but those kind of,
it's sort of imposter syndrome, all these things. I don't believe in.
I know.
It's all strength. And so your story is amazing because it's coming from, this is my superpower. This is my power. This is my family, my legacy. It's not a legacy of downtroddenness. It's a legacy of power. And I want to tell you about it.
Yes.
So that's brilliant.
And I think one thing that I had to get comfortable with, and which I have over the last few years, obviously, is stepping into my power.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just being really comfortable with that and knowing that I have a way of connecting with people. When I would be on air on MSNBC, and then after a virtual hit from home, I'd be on Skype and I go run errands. People in my neighborhood would see me, even if I had a mask on, right? Because that was 2020, 2021. And they'd be like, "Oh, Dr. Blackstock, I just saw you on air and I'm thinking about getting that vaccine." Or people tell me today, they're like, "I sent my children back to school when you sent your children back to school."
Yeah. Yeah.
because I trusted you.
So
and I realized for the first time for many people, especially for many Black folks, that was the first time they saw a Black physician, and a Black physician on air.
Yeah, and you're not bringing it from a place of you should do this because or you will die.
No,
it's more like, hey, I'm talking to you real about your health.
I'm talking to you about your health. I want you to have the information that you need to be informed so you can make decisions for yourself. Like, I'm not being paternalistic, but I love you. I love our community, and I want us to be safe.
That's awesome. So you said the magic word, which is superpower. Well, you didn't say it. You said power.
Yeah.
So Jordan, you know what time it is. It's time for you to tell us. So on every show, I ask people, what's your superpower?
Yeah.
But it's not like I'm on time or, it's not it's something that's unique to you.
Yeah.
That you do the best. And when you do it, you don't lose any energy. Like you can do it all day and night. So what's your superpower?
Okay. I don't know if this is what you mean, but I think my superpower is the ability to be vulnerable because I think that allows me to connect with people and people to connect with me. Yeah. And they see that because sometimes when you have that facade up that like, I'm great, I can do it, I can do anything. But when you share with people, I've had really hard times. Sometimes I don't always get it right. Or, this was a struggle for me. I think people, they see you as human, they can relate to you, and then they want to listen to you more.
I think so. I think I'm trying to think about whether vulnerability is your superpower.
Okay. So some of my friends say, say that my superpower is that I make everyone feel like they're seen and heard. I think that's, to me, like, again, I'm just, this is our longest conversation, but in seeing you out there, it's not just, I think vulnerability is a part of it, but I think that's, to me, your ability to connect, your ability to make people feel seen and heard, at ease with you. Yeah. And at some level, you are, you have a story of stairs stepping up, but you're an icon in the industry relatively, right? Like, as far as, Thank you.
None of us are Steph Curry, right? Yeah. But within the industry, if you think, okay, who's in this space, it's your name comes up 865 times, right? So, I think that you have the right when people get to that level of not connecting, which many people abuse. And we've had a lot of people here at less than 1% who do not abuse that power. They're like LaDainian Tomlinson, there's we have to do the 23andMe because Tomlinson,
right, yeah,
and we're about the same height, the same build.
And
although
his family is Jamaican too.
His family's not Jamaican.
Okay.
His family's not Jamaican, but he's another one super, super, super connector, right? And you know how many things probably are going on in his life.
Yeah.
I want to ask other people because I think we landed. I think it's the connection. I think your ability to connect, and meaningfully.
Yeah, meaningfully. Not in a superficial way.
Yeah, we're not talking about how's the weather.
Yeah, can I say one? I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
So when I was able to just start using my platform, it was a time when we were basically from home or doing a lot virtually. And so people would see me on air. Like a lot of people had not met me in person. Yeah. So I had this fear in 2022 when things started opening up that when people met me in person, they would be disappointed. I felt this pressure to live up to what people thought they knew of me from my media appearances, right? Or, virtual talks I was giving.
Yeah.
I remember posting something on Instagram, a video just being like, now that things are opening up, I'm feeling really anxious about having to live up to what people think I am, who they think I am. And guess what happened? People are like, oh my God, you're even better in person.
Yeah. I was going to say, I know.
It was just this fear, this anxiety I had about living up to what people had expected of me, because people they hadn't even met me, but just from what they had seen, I think though, that's probably, I can't tell you how you felt, but I think that's probably most cases where people, we got an opportunity to interview Malcolm Gladwell. And, of course, he's Jamaican descent. Yes.
He's a writer. We both are, I guess I'm similar to him, and we look at what's wrong with the world and we want to talk about that. And I met him. I was like, dude, you're even better than I thought you'd be. Because I think I think that only happens when you connect.
Right. Right.
And I think that when you connect, it's like, oh, wow, she's real. I mean, even just us, like in our conversation, we found out we have a Jamaican connection, which is, I think I have a Jamaican. Yeah, I think I have a Jamaican bias because Jessica Shepherd,
yes,
Jamaican.
yes, Jamaican, Toronto too, right? Toronto,
Scarborough, Malvern.
Your people.
She's from my street,
Oh my
like
goodness,
literally.
that's crazy.
So we're sitting there. I'm like, I think I have a total 100% bias to Jamaicans.
Yes,
I see, I can sniff a Jamaican out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so okay. I want to ask.
Oh, should we call?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask somebody else. So we got to set up here.
Uché, hey.
Dearie, hi. How are you? Okay, I have a little surprise for you.
Yeah?
Okay, so I'm on a podcast right now.
Oh, you
And
are?
yes, with Dr. Imamu Tomlinson of Advocacy. And part of it, he wants me to call a good friend,
Okay.
and to ask them. He's actually on the call.
Yeah.
He can hear you. We want to say hello.
Hi, how are you?
This is Dr.
Okay,
Adiri
how are you?
Arife. She's my friend from when I was 19 years old.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, my dear friend. We're actually going to Savannah this weekend on a girls' trip.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Wait.
Well, we won't take too much of your time. Thank you for answering. I'll just share some private information. We called a lot of people, and you were the only one who answered. So we know that you definitely love her.
Gosh. Of course. I'm sitting at my desk, like I work from home, so I'm staring at a computer screen, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna call.
So thank you for answering. We have we on this program we ask people what their superpower is, and she gave us a superpower. But then we don't 100% trust people, so we want to call her dearest friends and ask, what do you think her superpower is?
Okay. I think her superpower is discernment. Like, she can look at a situation and she can see clearly right to the core of what's going on. And she does that, with me as her friend. She can see right through to who I am, to what's going on for me. And she makes that like her sort of her goal to truly see people where they're at and who they are. It takes a lot of empathy, and Uché has that.
Wow. What do you think, Uché?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's known me forever.
That's amazing.
Yes.
But do you want to tell her what you said yours was?
Okay, I think I said vulnerability, right?
Yeah.
I said vulnerability. My ability to be, to be vulnerable with people, and I think that helps me connect with people.
Absolutely. No, that I can definitely see that too. But I think if I look at it takes a lot, in order to see somebody else, you have to be able to, you have to be willing to be vulnerable. So it's like the precursor. I'm seeing that, but I'm also seeing another step in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, dearie. Can't wait to see you on Friday.
Okay.
I love you.
Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye-bye.
That's awesome.
I should have called her first.
So you knew her from?
So actually, I know her. I knew her from the summer of '97, the summer that my mom passed away. I was actually in a summer research program at NYU School of Medicine. So where I ended up later on faculty, but I was in a research program for underrepresented groups, and Adiri was in that cohort with me, and so. I had known her for several weeks before my mom died.
Yeah.
And the way that she and another friend of mine who I'm still good friends with, the way they just surrounded me with love, they didn't even know me, but just supported me so much that summer. I've been in her wedding. I was in both their weddings.
Wow.
We've been friends forever. So, and I think it was because I met them during that really critical moment in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So NYU, 97. Let's see. So I'm at Cincinnati in 97. Do you know Savoy?
Of course.
Oh my
I know
Lord.
Savoy. Actually, Savoy. That summer I met Savoy. Yes. Yes, it was also he's a twin.
Yeah.
And he was at NYU, over the summer. So we actually hung out. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I haven't. I know he's with. I know he's on the board. He's on the board. He's on the board, right?
No, he's a VP. He's actually
VP.
executive VP.
Oh, executive VP.
Yeah, he used to be on the board.
Okay. Yeah.
Savoy, I know you're out there. I've got you on the podcast. Remember that, my friend.
And I know Savoy does a lot of other, like he does producing.
Yeah. He's
all,
he's bringing worlds together that don't go together.
He and I have to connect.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had another question that I had for you about that superpower that I just lost. But let's
make sure this. No, I want to make sure that's on.
So change gears for a little bit and go a little dark. I'm trying to take you places you don't want to go. So
because I'm willing to go anywhere.
You are willing to go anywhere. This is that. I mean, I'm normal. Like I try to make people a little uncomfortable, but you're an open book.
Literally. No, but even the book, like obviously, like there wasn't. I mean, it's a memoir, so I'm not going to put like everything in it. But then also, I have to have like some boundaries too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't like reveal all my business. Like I have children. Like I just I have to like protect them too.
And what's interesting, like when I was writing, so I mean, again, Malcolm Gladwell is my hero. I like to look at less than 1% starts with my story of being an uncharacteristic CEO, but then it's funny because you kind of start and then you kind of lean into who you are and your experiences. Yes. I literally write one chapter and that chapter's done. And then I'm talking about Steph Curry. I'm talking about Nanny. I'm talking about Shelley Ann Fraser Price,
right.
Siri Wanley. Like I'm going in everybody else. And so, I finished the book. It's stream of consciousness. I write the book in a month and a half.
What?
It's just because that's a long story. I had that book over there, Maniacal Fanaticism, 10 years ago. It's not the best book, but it was my first attempt. I kept editing that book like over and over and over again. And I was shopping it, right? I'm shopping it at the time and I'm re-editing and re-editing. And then I realized like, I'm just writing a new book. It's not re-editing. Like I had grown so much as a writer in the story. So I had to actually I had to cut it off. And so I cut it off. And even though I have a pride problem, I self-published it. I didn't want to because I felt like that was just a kiss of death. But when I did that, the new one just flowed. Yeah. Like it was just like, it all been pent up. But anyway.
Yeah, because you had to get that energy out.
Yeah. So, I think that's, went off on a tangent here, but I think that the idea to be revealing and vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So I tell the story about a coach I had that says you have less than 1% chance. And I stop there and I go to all these things in the world where people underestimate people. They put them in boxes. They make them, into things before they pick their winners and losers before the race and run. It's kind of something I always say. But so I take it to the publisher. They're like, hey, we love it. They're like, who ghost wrote it for you? Like, no, I'm a writer. Stop. I'm not a CEO, whatever.
Right.
And they're like, you need to write more stories about yourself. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, because that's the connecting.
So then I have to, so I write a couple other chapters. One, I write the seizure chapter, which my son, that was terrible. Like I read it now and I'm just like literally bawling my eyes out. And then I write the chapter at the end, which is sort of bringing it all together. But I say all that to say, the ability to write all about yourself in a way that's not arrogant, in this way that's not, I'm amazing. You did it brilliantly.
Thank you.
But I want to go dark.
Yeah, go dark. Yeah, let's see.
Because that's where we started. Vulnerability.
How dark you can go.
I'm going dark. So, is there anybody? We talked about people like, hey, you helped me get to where I am. Thank you so much. Your friends. Oh, we love you. We're gonna hang out. We believe in you. Mm-hmm. Your agent, your publicist. Yeah. But what about people who doubted you? What about people that were like, Dr. Blackstock, you are not going to make it, or even before you're Dr. Blackstock, or somebody who's like, and I know you're a wonderful, loving, amazing, positive person.
I know. Okay, so I will say overall, I've been super lucky that, like, I've just been, and I think this is just a lot of luck, and
okay,
go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, we're talking about going dark. So you were, and I saw,
not they should because I'm like, you're an attending. Like, if you're going to give me feedback, like
Yes.
say it with your chest
Yes.
and put your name on it.
Yes, I totally agree.
They said Uché isn't as great as she thinks she is.
That is, but see, that's the kind of classic.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a minute, what do I do with that?
Yeah, yeah. How do how do I show you that I don't think positively about myself?
Yeah, but also like, and how is that constructive?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I could not believe that someone who was supervising me or training me that's the only thing they wrote. They didn't say anything else.
Wow.
And so I remember, even though the rest were glowing, I remember that one has always stuck with me because I was an intern. I actually was very anxious about going to work. I couldn't sleep before my shifts, in the ER. Like, I took it really seriously. I would have like this little bag with me with all my little books in it.
And your Palm Pilot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, like I wasn't, the fact that someone saw that and then thought, but I think it's probably with what they knew of me. Uché was coming from, Harvard undergrad, Harvard Medical School, but also I was at Kings County Hospital, which is the public hospital in my neighborhood that my mom used to work at. Like, so it wasn't like I wanted to go there. Like that was my first ranked choice to match there.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be there. I wanted to take care of my community. So the fact that this attending was like, she's not as good as she thinks she is.
Yeah.
So that has stayed. That always has stayed.
Yes.
With me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, first of all, who said that?
Yeah.
I still don't know who said that. And then I'm like, where were they coming from? Like, what was their mindset where they felt like they could put that in my evaluation?
Oh, I mean, the mindset. They had you in a box, right? So the box, you didn't match the box.
Right.
They built this.
Right.
They built this Dr. Blackstock that was not who you really were. And it's funny you said that. So in residency, this is a story that I haven't told anywhere really.
Oh, really? First time?
First time.
I'm honored.
And I don't know if I should.
Yes.
Maybe we edit this out.
No.
So,
don't edit it out.
So okay. I'm in residency, and we talk, sort of pre-show. Like I've struggled with anger my whole life. Like my base energy, the energy where I get the most, the mood that I get the most energy from is anger. So when I want to do something amazing, it's usually because I got angry about something else, right? And so. So anyway, so I'm dealing with that, but I'm getting a residency, and I've learned. I've got pretty good EQ, but I'm learning how to edit how I respond to what I witness. So I go in for the evaluation, the magic evaluation, and he's like, well, we don't know about you. I'm like, you don't know about me. And I said, well, you need to get better at whatever. And I was like, okay, fine. It says, well, your attitude is just not good. And I'm like, wait a second, my attitude, like, and I don't know how your residency life was, but every time I would go to a rotation, like they, different departments would give out awards, like they'd give them to me. Like everybody was like, because I'm up early, I'm there late. I'm grinding.
Right.
It's Jamaican, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
So he says, you act like you're from the streets. And I'm like, wait, like the streets of Toronto, bro? I'm like, come on, man. Like, really? Like from the streets? Like, which streets are you talking about? Like, I'm from a different country, right? And at the time, not that it matters, but at the time, my parents, we were never rich, but I was never hungry.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I remember I did an away rotation with a friend who graduated from the program a year before. So I went away to North Carolina, and this is kind of deep. So this is the part that I'm embarrassed about a little bit. So I'm in North Carolina, and I'm just like, I'm not shaving.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like total, and he's a great friend because I was supposed to do a whole lot of shifts, and I didn't do them. Like I was just like, I'm struggling because I'm like, I'm about to get kicked out of residency. Like what's going on? And the advice that I got was, you need to go to this rotation and think about your future and think about what you need to do. And what he told me I needed to do was go to a psychiatrist.
Wait, go to a psychiatrist?
My assistant residency program director said that. So I'm like, to deal with me being from the streets. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? So I go to my boy, and he's like, okay, just come out here 2 weeks, do this rotation. think about it and go back. And at one point I'm like, I'm just going to go see a psychiatrist. I'm just going to do it because I want to finish.
Yeah.
Like my whole life, I want to go to medical school. So he said, so all of a sudden, this is the embarrassing part. All of a sudden, this, it's like 4 in the morning. And someone starts talking to me. And I swear, like, you know, because
where were you? You were.
I'm in North Carolina in bed.
In bed. Oh.
And someone starts talking to me, and I'm looking around. I'm like, you know, we're scientists. I mean, I believe, but
yeah,
I'm a scientist. Like, you know.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a male voice, and he says, "Everything's gonna be okay." And I'm like, okay, you know, am I sleeping? Well, all of a sudden, I just like this calm came over me. I drive back to straight to the office. We had scheduled a meeting, and I go in the office. I'm like, he's like, "Oh, so what are you going to do?" I said, "I'm not going to do anything." I said, "I'm going to graduate. I'm going to go be an amazing doctor, and y'all are going to stop this foolishness." Yeah. And he looked at me. He said, what makes you think that you can do that? And I said, "Well, I think God told me that this is the right thing to do." And sure enough, he didn't mess with me. I graduated. I did not go to the final picture, you know, but anyway, that's the first time.
Give me goosebumps.
It's tough. It's tough, right? It's tough because we've all had some kind of, but I'll never forget. I'll never forget. And I'll say his name, Dr. Ferris. I'll never forget his name. And I'll, you know, that feeling, which is probably not healthy, but that feeling, that moment, I'll never, ever forget it. And like when I'm ready to do something amazing, I always go back to that feeling.
Yeah. You know? No, I know.
It's
tough.
That's. Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. It's just like, wait a second. Whose podcast is this?
No. I'm just like, that's really heavy. Yeah. That's so heavy. Yeah. And I want to say, like, I know for me, like, I felt like I couldn't show my anger.
Yeah.
Like, because I was in these spaces where, like, I didn't want to be like the angry Black woman. Yeah. So people never saw that. So, but that was inside.
That's heavy though, like, right? To carry the weight.
To carry that.
Yeah.
So I think for me, a lot of times, like in my writing, like I get out what I want or through my social media. Like that's why, like on Twitter, like early 2020s, like I had like almost 140K followers because I literally just put like, I'm thinking about this. Like I was just like kind of vent.
Yeah.
Like that was my venting. But I think it's just so important for us to like be able to like, if we feel angry, And I know you're saying sometimes your anger is like another level. But we have a lot to be angry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a lot to be angry about. Then you have people who are trying to like sabotage you, undermine you, and they don't believe in you. Like, I mean, when I was in academic medicine and I felt like I was under a microscope, they were looking at my social media. They were like, "Oh, she started her own consulting firm. How do we know if this firm's values align with our institutions?" I was like, You asking that question? I should ask you.
Right. Because
the way that you all are operating in here, the way that you're treating Black faculty and students and trainees, like that doesn't align with my values.
Yes.
And one thing I had to learn, and this is what I always say, and I always try to remind our students that like you are the gift for all of these institutions and organizations that we are part of and that we move into. They are so lucky to have us.
Yeah.
Like Batuti is so lucky to have you.
Yeah. Well,
because because of like not just our professional experience, but our lived experience, just the perspective that we come in with, the fact that we can see things from all different angles. Like that is a gift.
Yeah. I mean, I had to lean into. I think, you know, we talked a little bit. I spent the first 4 years I've been in the job 9 years now. The first 4 years I was struggling to be what others thought, not just the CEO of a physician group, but also CEO within healthcare.
Right.
And I struggled with that. And then the last 4 or 5 years, like to your point, I was like, at some level, it's not, you know, it's like, my daughter and I talk about this all the time. It's not what you bring to the table. Sometimes you're the table.
Yes.
Sometimes you're the table.
Yes.
And so, but it took me a while, I think. And to your point, you think here, just in taking it full circle, healthcare, leadership development, the job that we're doing or not doing to advance not just, all physicians. I think at this point in time, our leadership development for physicians is at an all-time low, right? Because we're not, the generation is different, and the people who are teaching that generation struggle with that. Do you think healthcare is broken? You think just taking it all the way to, do you think healthcare right now in America is broken? And what aspect? What aspect?
I think, obviously I think about like the patient experience.
Yeah.
Right? The patient experience, like folks just having to navigate the system, access, just follow up, just being able to understand what's happening and just their interactions with the healthcare system one. But then I also think the clinician well-being part is huge.
Yeah.
I think it's another huge part because it's like, they're like true and unrelated, right? Like the experiences that patients have are based on how the clinicians are supported, right? And how the systems are working to support them, right? And like, I feel like, this idea of burnout is it's not a personal thing, it's a systemic thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like, so many of my friends that are still like practicing, they are like, help me get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, help me get out. Yeah. And I feel like the pandemic definitely was that like huge insult on a system that was already struggling, and now we have patients who are sicker coming in, right? We have clinicians that are burning out. And I think the whole leadership part is that we also are not cultivating physician leaders.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think we could do so much better in that way for physicians to have voices about policy.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see more physicians on the Hill just talking about not what necessarily even just physician groups need, but what our communities need.
Yeah.
Because that's related.
And most of the times they're really focused when you do get on the Hill or you do go to talk to people. It's really about reimbursement most of the time.
Right, exactly.
It's like 90% of the time.
Right.
Oh, reimbursement. And at some level that gets old.
Yeah.
So you have a magic wand and you get to fix one thing in healthcare. Magic wand. What would that be to unbreak it?
Okay, so I think one thing is like the administrative inefficiency of our healthcare system.
Bureaucracy.
Like, it's ridiculous and it's costly.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of the main reasons why we are an outlier compared to other high income countries. Like, it is ridiculous. There are too many middlemen. We really need to streamline things, and it's not actually. It's in the patient's best interest.
Yeah. I think this. I get nauseated talking about AI all the time because every conference you go to, like they double down on AI.
Yeah.
And from people that don't even use it, right? They're just experts at it. But I do think that this AI has an opportunity now to let physicians be more human and more connecting, because a lot of these transactional things will hopefully go away.
No, I agree. But it was interesting. I've been seeing a few articles about how patients are using AI more and appreciating the interaction between them and AI versus them and the clinician, because AI is so a lot of these like ChatGPT is so agreeable. So it's like, it like affirms you. Makes you feel good, And I'm just like, we are in the twilight zone. But I do think, AI obviously is here. It's inevitable, but we have to use it with intentionality.
Yeah.
And I do think that the piece about like the administrative inefficiency, about like, the charting and all that, like if we can just direct clinicians to be able to spend more time focused on the patient and utilize AI in that way, then we could actually really
it actually could be a good thing.
Yeah.
So 10 years from now.
Yes.
So you're killing, you're everywhere, right? You're going to keep being everywhere, right?
Which is really interesting because I thought I was everywhere, and every year I'm more places.
Everywhere's a new everywhere.
So I'm like Uché. So I told myself this year, Uché, anything is possible from here on. Like, so I was out last night. My general counsel for advancing health equity and my personal lawyer, she lives here in Dallas.
So this worked out.
Yes, we went out to dinner last night because I hadn't seen her in actually several years. We talk virtually, we text all the time. Wait, hold on. What's my train of thought? Hold on. What was I going to say? What were we talking about?
We were talking about healthcare. You're talking about
what did she say? Darn. Okay. And she asked me,
Yeah.
Uché, what's been like your favorite talk that you've given?
Right.
And I was like, literally, I've given so many talks over the last few years, but being invited to the United Nations to speak on the International Day Against Racial Discrimination March of last year was just amazing, because it's like to be able to, in front of the General Assembly, to be able to talk about the work that I'm doing around health equity and how it's applicable globally in such a forum. I was just
that's amazing,
blown away. And the Office for Human Rights, they invited me, and they were like, Dr. Blackstock, we've been fans of yours, and we would love for you to come back. And I'm like,
yeah, I thought this was a one-time gig.
Yeah, whenever you need me, you know. So it's just like thinking really about like what is being limitless in terms of what is possible. And so that's why I wrote my manifestations for 2026 the other day. And the manifestations is just to embrace whatever comes to me and not to put limits on what can happen, because literally every year
something crazy.
Yes.
Yes,
every year is something crazy, or every time I check my inbox, something else. And so I don't know why people have chosen me as, like, someone said, Uché, you're the Beyonce of health equity. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, thank you. But I don't know what. So I've been. Yeah. And
I think the thing though is that that's part of the, if there is some kind of syndrome thing, it's that question. It's not that you don't feel like you belong, right? Because you belong. Clearly, you go there and you're like, I'm going to kill it.
Yes.
But I think it's asking the question why. I mean, and you'll ask that. I'll ask that a lot. If I'm in a particular situation, why me? Or But I think there's a reason, and there's a reason. People see it in you. I mean, the board that selected me for this job, I didn't want it.
I know you told me that.
I refused it like 3 times. I was like, no, like, please, like, I'm good. I was a regional director. I just want to coach. I just want to coach basketball, coach my kids.
Yes.
Just do that. And they obviously, or maybe they just got lucky, but they obviously saw where I'm at now, which is very different than where I was then.
Yes.
And and so that's, I think that's sobering though. It's a sobering thing.
Yeah. And I think also sometimes you're so just like you're deep in the day-to-day, just kind of like living your life, and people are able to actually look at you and see what is possible.
That's and see what is possible in areas that you don't necessarily look at yourself.
Yes.
Because you know what I mean? Like a lot of times, like, I want to go through all of it, but even just in just where we are for physician, we talked a little bit about it for physician groups in America. Like, I mean, we grew so much last year, and I never sell. Like, everybody's like, how are you growing? I'm like, I don't know. I just go and talk to people and tell them what I feel about the world and how I want to impact it. Like what we do in the foundation, and stuff like that. I do want to ask you, so, but you didn't answer my question, which was
the question?
We manifested 2026, but I want to go out to like 2035, like 10 years. Where would you be? I know you're open to everything, which is cool, but where would you look back in 2035 and say, yes, I'm here? Because at that point you'll be 38. Right. Yeah,
58.
Yeah.
Actually, can I just tell you?
Yeah.
Every year, I'm like, this is
best year ever.
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 Like I'm like welcoming it. I'm like 50. Let's go.
Let's go.
50. Like let's do this.
The only thing I don't like about that is I do not like people knowing my birthday, because I don't like the fake love. I don't like the fake love. Like, I don't want you calling like I mean, my boy. If you're my boy, all my friends, my boys out there, do not call me on my birthday and say happy birthday, because it's like the day before my birthday might be the day you needed to call me and tell me, man, you're the best ever. Or the day after.
Okay.
So you're just taking that day and you're giving me like, I want that every day. If you want to call me.
Right. Okay. I get that. But I'm like, that day is so special. I feel like because my mom always made a big deal about our birthdays.
Yeah.
Like, it was huge. So I feel like it's a celebration. Like, this is
the handshake.
Yeah, like, this is the day that we gifted you to the world.
Yeah.
Like, this lucky world. Okay, 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Like, I mean, you are, whether, and I think that you understand it now. We're 5 years out from the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
So this is not this is not a blip, right? We've seen lots of people come and
Right.
go.
Yeah.
Lots of companies come and go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you're on a trajectory and you're doing more amazing things.
Yeah.
So 10 years from now, where would you look back and say, I'm here now and I'm satisfied with what I've done over the last 10?
That's such a hard question.
You want, okay, take time. I'm going to tell you mine.
Yeah, tell me.
I'll tell you mine and then you can kind of process.
Yeah.
So for me, 10 years from now, I want to look back and I want to be as profound a writer as Malcolm Gladwell is, not necessarily from book sales.
Yeah.
But as far as like, I want people to
thought leadership.
I want people to take this less than 1% story and say, hey, you know what? We're not going to build boxes for people anymore. We're going to, my next, actually, I want to jump to that as another thing, but I want to talk to you about my next project.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be interesting. I want to get, because you and your sister, it's a twin thing.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
But so I want to be at that point, whether I'm doing this or not in healthcare, I'm gonna be at the point where people are like, okay, Moo, like you're a legit writer. You're not just the CEO who writes, you're a writer who happens to be CEO.
Yes.
Or maybe I'm not a CEO at that particular time. So
I think, so this is going to be a little bit about 2026 because I just want to tell you, like, this year, what I realized is that, I did say, like, the possibilities are endless, but I want my hand in a lot of different buckets.
Okay.
So, like, even legacy, like, I'm done with legacy. I told my editor, like, I'm not pushing this book out anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm going to let the message of the book just get out naturally.
Yeah.
But I would love, like, to see, like, a film on it.
Nice.
I would love to see a documentary, some piece of it. I met Ava DuVernay a few weeks ago and at the Ford Foundation, and I gave her a copy of my book, and she's like, girl, I already follow you.
Nice.
So,
awesome.
So I'm just saying, like, I'm just putting that out there. So I would love just to have these conversations that I had in the book show up in other spaces. And I think also for me, what I would love is just to have these conversations with folks outside of the healthcare space, because so much we know what happens regarding health is not just within healthcare. So I want to be that liaison kind of, or that communicator between
the connector.
Yes,
back to the
exactly,
superpower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Between what we're doing. Like, I got invited, like, that Ford Foundation event I was telling you about. It was actually arts and justice forum, but they wanted to bring in health justice. So I was, like, the only Black health professional there.
That's awesome.
But, like, Yara Shahidi was there, Ava DuVernay was there, Charlene Eiffel was there, right? But I was able to, like, be the physician voice or the healthcare voice to talk about how it's connected to all of these other spaces.
That's amazing.
So that's what I want to continue.
Yeah.
To
So
do.
you want to take that and accelerate.
Yes. That. Yeah. And hopefully I will. And also, so I've finished my second book proposal.
Yeah.
I'm hoping by the top of next year I have my second book deal. But I also already know I want to do a third book.
Nice.
And the third book, I want it to be about stepping into your power.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I see, like, I want to continue, like, getting my voice out there, because I feel like so many people, like, they're craving for these kind of these stories because they feel seen. In these stories, they feel validated, and then also for a broader audience to hear other perspectives. So
that's amazing.
Yeah. So I just actually, for 2026, I have, like, all of these buckets I want to be in, and I want all those buckets to just continue to expand over the next 10 years.
Okay. Well, I mean, that could be 10 years, but apparently 10 years, Jordan, is going to happen in 1 year. So just one aside. So thinking about writing, it's funny, we're wired similarly that way. I have, like, 8 books written in my mind.
Yes, in your head. Yeah.
And then sort of backtrack to the one I have to write, and then the article I have to write so I can get this. So I finished the first chapter. I actually went on a rant, which is my longest first chapter ever. It's like 2,500 words, which for first chapter for me, I like short chapters, like digestible.
Yeah.
But it's called Almost, and it's the other side of winning. So how small differences change the course of lives, change directions, and it's, like, amazing. So how many different situations where somebody makes a right turn and they're, like Wes Moore talks about that. You're in this, you're a loser, quote unquote, and somebody makes a little bit of a right turn and you're the most amazing thing ever. But one of the chapters I'm going to use twin studies. And so I'm interested to find out, like, how are you similar? How are you different?
Yeah.
And what do you attribute that to?
Yeah, so it's interesting. I think like, this nature versus nurture, even with twins, right? And I think that for a very long time, like our mother was, I told you, like, she was such a loving, affectionate woman, but also was like, said to us, starting from when we were little, you two just have each other. Like, you better depend on each other, go everywhere together, do everything together, right? And so we kind of like were always together up until end of medical school. And so in a way it was good because we were able to support each other, but also I think it sometimes didn't allow us to like develop our own personalities. And now I see more now as like in our 40s that we actually are really different. Like we have different sense of like worldview. I mean, we have the same values.
Yeah.
But just like our perspective on how we handle things is really very different. So I feel like part of that is just how we're wired genetically, So it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I'm doing all this research for the first time, and it's sort of, you have IQ differences, which, right?
So yes. So actually, both my sister and I want to say that when my mother had us assessed at 4 years old, we both were genius level, although my sister was several points ahead of me.
Wow.
And then my mother said, I didn't want to get you retested because I was worried that the score would go down. I'm like, okay, thanks, Mom.
Yeah, I mean, it is fascinating. It's fascinating. I think it's just fascinating. In that chapter, what I want to point out, I think, is that, when you genetically, you have your double-blind randomized genetically the same, that small little incidences, whether, one person may, I don't know, have a cold, that day when you learn biochemistry and the other person didn't. And that small difference could be it could butterfly effect into something different. So
it's interesting. Also, my sister and I, like, we've gone through a lot of life changes together, like at the same time. Like, we divorced around the same time. We got out of our like traditional jobs and started our consulting firms at the same time.
Wow.
I know.
I know. Well, I guess there's two more twins in the study. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not amazing, but it's just that parallel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Is uncanny.
Yeah, we had our kids around the same time. It's just like, So, but one thing I did, I know we're ending, but I wanted to say that like one thing that I've learned over the last few years, like, alignment is really huge for me. It was something that like, I think because I had been on that trajectory of like, being a physician, like you kind of just start doing like, what you're supposed to be doing. Like you go to medical school, you do residency, fellowship. I kind of like wasn't like checking in with myself, being like, Uché, like, is what you're doing aligned with like what's important to you? Yeah. Like I was just kind of doing, I was like kind of like just kind of doing what I thought I was supposed to do on this track.
And I think with the thing that I learned from this, and hopefully others do learn too, is that at no point in time am I hearing you make decisions based on the new title or the new or how much something is. Like you're actually maybe even going against that. Yeah. You're actually, and your life now is so much more, sort of fruitful because you weren't focused on just the money and the title. Yeah, which I think so many people are like, I want to get that promotion. Right. And they just don't live where they're at.
Yeah. The question I ask myself now is what is good for Uché?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is good for Uché? Yeah. And that alignment piece, people ask me, they're like, okay, how did you get the book deal? And how I got the book deal was that, summer of 2020, I was on a local NPR station and I was talking about racial disparities in COVID. And my literary agent heard me and she sent me a cold email and said, I've been following you on social media. I'm at my mom's visiting her. I just heard you on the Brian Lara show. And I think you have a story to tell. And you're the only person to tell that story. Do you want to talk?
That is amazing.
And so and what I say from that is just that it's really important that you're doing what fulfills you. The people who see will see. Right.
Yes.
You just keep doing what fulfills you, what gives you purpose.
Yeah.
And all that other goodness, all that other abundance will just fall in line.
Wow. I was going to ask you for something you wanted to leave people with, but I think you just did. Okay. I think you just did. That was amazing. You've helped me today. So I got to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and not what I have to do. Yeah. Where do people find you? Where do people like they're like, okay, I heard this, I want to go find her. What's
Yes.
the best place?
Okay, so you can go to my website, ucheblackstock.com. You can go to I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm still on Twitter, X. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on
everything.
Threads. I am everywhere.
And don't do what I did. Do not DM Uché 78 times.
No, I feel so bad. No, because can I tell you? Well,
Yeah.
the DM, I get so overwhelmed with DMs.
Oh no, I know you do.
that I lose track of them.
No,
Like,
because
and so
but listen, so I'm gonna tell everybody. So what happened? What had happened was this is what happened. So I'm DMing, and Jordan, I think you heard this. So I'm DMing, my book's coming out, and you have responded a few times, and I'm trying to send you a signed copy of the book, right? And you're just busy.
I know.
Yeah. So I keep DMing, and then I at NHSC,
Yeah.
because like I'm very, very informal. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's what I love about you.
yeah, like I'm rolling up on you. Like, I don't know you. I'm just rolling up on you.
Yeah.
Like, hey, and I remember you were like, okay, who the heck is this dude?
And then I was like, oh. It took a while for
And then I remember somebody at the thing was like, did you tell her who you were? I was like, of course I didn't. I'm just rolled up. Like, that's like a girl Uché. Like, I'm rolling up on her, But anyway, but don't just go crazy in DM her like I did. But I appreciate you coming. I know you're busy. I know you're, at the UN and you're at everything. You didn't have to come here today. And that means a lot to me. Just because, I want to be able to, to me, in my mind, you're less than 1%er. You're someone who, obviously from your stories, no one thought you would be where you are now. And if there's somebody out there who's at the beginning of their journey, hopefully when they listen to this, they're like, hey, I can do it too. And so that's, what
absolutely.
we've been blessed to have a lot of amazing people on here, but the consistent theme is like, you're somebody who's bringing something to the world that nobody else could. And we appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a lot of fun. I think it's one of my most fun podcasts.
Awesome. All right. We good?